In northern Gaza, it was another day of mass death, with Israeli airstrikes killing at least 88 people, including many children, as the Israel Defense Forces continue ground operations there. Hospitals were flooded with injured, and doctors have few, if any, supplies to treat the wounded. Hundreds of thousands remain trapped, and no substantial food or aid has been allowed into the area for weeks. That's as Israel's parliament passed two measures that effectively outlaw the UN agency charged with aiding Palestinians. Here's Nick Schifrin, and a caution: images in this story are disturbing.
Underneath buildings that have become carcasses, lives end in canvas shrouds or wrapped in carpets. Today in Beit Lahia, the bodies lay side by side across the street from what used to be a single apartment block destroyed by an Israeli airstrike. Residents said there was no warning for the men buried under the rubble, for the girl burned trying to escape. There are no emergency workers left, so survivors are forced to carry the dead, and boys are forced to comprehend the incomprehensible. Many of the injured arrived in nearby Al Auda Hospital. Its director, Dr. Mohammed Salha, spoke to us by phone.
We are receiving 40 injured here. We're doing 3 life-saving operations. We have shortage of medication, medical supplies, fuel, and shortage of food. Only we are eating 1 meal per day. All our department is full of patients. All the beds. We are putting beds in the corridors.
For weeks, Al Auda has received an overwhelming number of dead and hosted an overwhelming number of funerals. And now shortages that began 3 months ago have become acute after the hospital became a target.
So they destroyed 2 floors, 48 of beds are destroyed from our capacity. They destroyed our store of medical supplies. Nobody can help because there is no ambulances. The situation became worse and worse and worse, and we can't deal with this huge number of injuries.
Al Auda is in the middle of a 4-week-old Israeli operation in northern Gaza focused on Jabalia. The Israeli military says Hamas is regrouped here, storing weapons and explosives in local schools and in another local hospital, Kamal Adwan. North Gaza still has terrorist infrastructure and Hamas leaders that must be targeted, says Israel's top general, Herzi Halevi.
Jabalia is falling. This is another psychological collapse. And if we take out the northern Gaza brigade commander, it's another collapse. This pressure brings us closer to more achievements.
To do that, Israel has tried to evacuate 400,000 residents who have nowhere to stay or go.
The situation is became worse and worse and worse. No place is safe in the north. So we are really live in a disaster in the north. You can't imagine how is the situation. The people is in the streets. There's no shelters, no markets, nothing. The people is like to die and not to live this life.
Nearly all of Gaza's health sector is run by UNRWA, the UN Relief and Works Agency that in more peaceful times served nearly 6 million Palestinians in Gaza and across the region, with schools, and especially today, emergency and humanitarian assistance. For years, Israel has criticized the agency's reference to refugees. But since October the 7th, Israel says multiple UNRWA schools turned shelters became Hamas command and control centers. Underneath UNRWA's Gaza's headquarters, Israel says it found a Hamas tunnel. And earlier this year, Israel released a dossier that said 4 UNRWA staffers were involved in kidnapping Israelis. 6 UNRWA staffers in total infiltrated into Israel, and UNRWA acts under the authorization and supervision of Hamas. And so last night, Israel's parliament banned UNRWA from Israel. The bills passed overwhelmingly, with the support of centrist politicians like Yesh Atid member Ron Katz.
The UNRWA organization, that has been proven beyond any doubt to be part of Hamas, took an active part during October 7th in the kidnapping, the murder, and all the actions that we know that the Hamas organization did in the state of Israel.
This summer, the UN fired 9 UNRWA employees for participating in October the 7th, but absolved others, and promised to improve vetting of its 13,000 Gaza employees.
We have an inspection that is working in order to detect any areas of infiltration that might exist.
Israel promises to replace UNRWA either with other UN agencies or private contractors. But the US and UN say UNRWA is the only organization that can keep Gazans alive.
There's no alternative to UNRWA when it comes to delivering food and other life-saving aid in Gaza.
The legislation doesn't go into effect for 3 months. In the meantime, in North Gaza, the bodies continue to arrive on the back of carts. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Nick Schifrin.